We do want to say good morning to all of you here presently and also virtually. You'll notice up in the corner, we do have a streaming audience this morning. So we're so excited to welcome everyone to a hybrid summit this year. This is the 2024 Arizona Maternal and Child Health Workforce and Policy Summit. We are so excited to have everyone participating today as we focus on several critical issues impacting maternal and child health here in our state. This is going to be a day full of important conversations, learning, collaboration is really what we're looking forward to, new partnerships together to help build a brighter future for our families here in Arizona. For those of you that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting just yet, there's plenty of time today. I hope we have a chance to say hello. But my name is Nohelani Graff, and I will be your MC today and also moderating some of the breakout sessions. To give you just a little bit of background on myself, I was born and raised in Hawaii. I have spent the last 20 years as a journalist in various states. I've picked up some Emmy Awards for some of my reports. I spent the last decade here in Arizona in Phoenix as a news anchor and reporter. Most recently, I had the honor and privilege of moderating several of Arizona's general election debates, including the most recent debate for US Senate. I'm also a passionate advocate of health stories. And as part of that, I was a health journalist fellow through Mayo Clinic and Arizona State University. Most importantly, though, that is my career and those accolades. But as it applies to today, my most important role is as a very tired mother of a very energetic 3-year-old boy. As I was looking for a pen this morning, I could not find one, but I found several cars, snacks. I'm sure many in this room can relate. I also have a stepdaughter who is in college. So I have seen many stages so far and certainly understand the importance of forming community so that we can support families in every stage. So I'm really excited to be a part of those conversations to do that. We do want to ask that you take a moment to review some of our disclosures. For those of you joining us virtually, you'll be able to see it on your screen as well. I also am going to ask you all to participate in just a quick little exercise this morning because I know it is a little chilly. So if everybody could just raise their hands to like this, wiggle the fingers a little, rub them together, soft tap, full clap, get used to it. We're going to do that a lot, okay? Just so that we're ready this morning. Lots of support for everyone. The first one that you're going to get to test your clapping skills with this morning and to begin our program, it is my great pleasure to introduce Ba Ruth Bigman. She is going to offer a welcome blessing this morning to open our time together. Ba is Diné or Navajo from Northern Arizona, currently residing in the Valley here. She holds a BS degree in biology from the University of Arizona and also plans to do a master's program in public health starting next year. She hopes to conduct and do research as well within her native community on mental health, incarceration, and traditional ceremonial practices, which we will also be focusing on in part today. Ba also has completed training in becoming an Indigenous lactation counselor and doula as well. And she hopes to learn more from her mentors and will soon begin training to become a CLC. If you would help me in welcoming Ba to the podium.
Good morning, everybody. Yatse bene. She Bob Bigman and she not kidding and a shlant touching Bushing Tapan Dasha do Codston Dashanelle. Hi, everybody. I just introduced myself in my Dene language, and that's how we introduce ourselves as Navajo people. We have clans. And this morning I will be saying an opening prayer for you all. And I just want to say you can stand, sit, close your eyes, but I just ask that, just take the time to reflect and just try to hear the words that I say. And I will begin. Kode hajon dole nahastan shama yatithishata hayata no dek ish nohutsui charlet sisna jine sot dogo si debensa sitna dithi choi shiche hasche tie shiche hasche one yoth kli sanshma sana gleshma nadant klish ki nadant suit ed yodes tas klizatas to bajashin to yaje tededinishki that's any it's ed besatna ebik a hojonesli yeah dinene. Thank you. May you all have a good day.
Well, thank you so much for that blessing and to also help set the tone for today. I think already feeling a sense of spirituality, a holistic approach as we step forward this morning. Next, we want to take a moment to honor the land that we are on. And leading us in this recognition is Dr. Jenny Beaver, the president and CEO of Fourth Trimester Arizona. Dr. Beaver holds her doctorate in biology from UC San Diego and a BS in biochemistry from ASU. She is also an international board certified lactation consultant and serves as a member of the ADHS Maternal Mortality Review Committee, the State Maternal Mental Health Task Force, and the Maternal and Child Health Translational Research Team at Arizona State University. Most importantly for her as well, though, she is the mother of 4 herself, and her vision of fully integrated care during all of the postpartum period was the seed that grew into Fourth Trimester Arizona. So please give her a warm welcome this morning.
Thank you so much for that introduction. And thank you so much, Ba, for that beautiful blessing. As we start our work this morning, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the traditional lands and unceded territory of the A'adam and Pipash people on which I'm standing today, as well as past and present Indigenous caretakers of these lands and the 22 sovereign nations that share geography with Arizona. These are the Auchin Indian community, the Cocopah Indian tribe, the Colorado River Indian tribes, the Fort McDowell Yavapai Nation, the Fort Mojave Indian tribe, the Fort Yuma Quetzalcoatl tribe, the Gila River Indian community, the Havasupai tribe, the Hopi tribe, the Hualapai tribe, the Kaibab Paiute tribe, the Navajo Nation, the Pasquayaqui tribe, the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community, the San Carlos Apache tribe, the San Juan Southern Paiute tribe, the Tonto Apache tribe, the White Mountain Apache tribe, the Yavapai Apache Nation, the Yavapai Prescott tribe, and the Pueblo of Zuni. I want to pay my respects to the elders of these nations. It's important to me that we as a fourth trimester ecosystem, and today at this very important summit around maternal and child health, that we acknowledge the Indigenous caretakers of these lands for 3 main reasons. The first is that Indigenous peoples are our neighbors, our friends, our community members, and Indigenous nations share geography with 40% of Arizona. Do you guys know that? The second is that access to ancestral knowledge about birth and parenting is a right, and it is one that Indigenous people have not been afforded for generations through genocide and forced removal of their children. So as I acknowledge the sovereignty of these lands and nations, I also want to acknowledge the right of Indigenous people to sovereignty over their bodies, their births, and their children. Third, I want to uplift the work taking place via organizations such as the Siwapatli Collective, the Navajo Breastfeeding Coalition, the Dene Doula Collective, Indigenous Breastfeeding Counselor, and many more to honor, cultivate, and bring ancestral knowledge to Indigenous birthing people. I'm so grateful for the examples they set in our community and for their collaboration. I'd also like to give a labor acknowledgement before we start our work today. We must acknowledge that much of what we know of this country today, including its culture, economic growth, and development throughout history, was made possible by the labor of enslaved Africans and their descendants who suffered the trafficking of their people, slavery, and Jim Crow. We are indebted to their labor and their sacrifice, and we must acknowledge that violence through the generations and the resulting impact that can still be felt and witnessed today. It is present in the structures and systems that have failed to keep them safe in pregnancy, birth, and postpartum, and also failed to keep their children safe into adulthood. Let us recognize the labor of the grand midwives of the South who delivered generations of American children, and the labor and sacrifices of the enslaved women whose bodies were used without their consent to advance the field of medicine. Let us recognize the history of the United States as complicit with racism. We recognize that these difficult histories persist in present-day racial realities, and we commit to dismantling racism in our spaces of work. We invite you to work beside us to create change. I will turn it over to you.
Can we get a round of applause for Dr. Beaver, please? Laying the groundwork is for this organization is, of course, a huge part of why we're here today. And as we do start this summit this morning, we are also pleased to have with us a representative from the governor's office. Erin Hart is the Director of Strategic Initiatives and a policy advisor for higher education and early education. And she's going to be offering a few words this morning, if you would, Erin, about the workforce policy initiatives of the governor's office that align directly with our summit. Please help welcome her.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. It's so nice to be here with you today, and thank you for such a warm introduction. I'm really excited to be here with you today. On behalf of Governor Hobbs, I wanted to welcome you and share our appreciation for the work that all of you are doing. I work with Governor Hobbs as her advisor on early ed and higher ed, and also lead her Office of Strategic Initiatives, as you heard, but I come to this work first and foremost as a mom of a now 10-year-old. I can't believe he's 10. Where's time gone? But at the time I had him, I was running a statewide nonprofit organization, and we were a team of nearly all women, many of whom were having kids at the time, and I was among the first of our team to do so. And I remember at the time we had to cobble together maternity leave using vacation time and sick time and short-term disability. And we were certainly doing the best we could with what we had, but the best we could do in my situation was about 10 weeks of maternity leave, which isn't horrible, but definitely could have been better. And as a new mom, I remember feeling like just so much worry about that because it felt like such a short time to be with him on leave. It certainly did not feel like enough time at all. And while I was on that leave, which was great, I was really nervous about my childcare options because I wasn't really sure where that was going to end up. I'd done a lot of research. I got on a wait list early, but the nearest program I could find in my house was still 30 minutes away. And so, at the end of my maternity leave, I was totally in limbo. I felt this urge that I had to go back to work because I knew, that's probably where I wanted to be. But I also felt this tug to be at home and to be with my kiddo and to make sure he was able to grow and to thrive. And I also felt this other tension of my childcare situation might just totally fall through. And I remember just feeling so much anxiety about this and just very worried about how it was going to end up. And luckily, I'll end up working out okay. But I just remember that transition was really, really difficult. And then once I was even back in work, I remember reliving that decision all the time, every day. Did I make the right decision? Am I doing the best for him? Am I doing the best for me? And thankfully, I was in a really supportive work environment at the time, but it still was so hard. And so I share some of my personal story with you, not because, it's unique, but because it's the story of so many moms across the state, maybe some of you here in the room today and many families. And in that time, it's been a decade now. And thankfully, we've seen so many things change. So much has changed in the way of how we're looking at maternity leave and now family leave. And we're looking at being more comprehensive and thinking about how are we serving and meeting the needs of families in different and new ways. And now, we know that transition from having a baby, becoming new mom, and figuring all things out is so important. And we also know it's really hard, and trying to layer work back into that just, sometimes make things even crazy. We also know that we also know that maternity leave is not a short-term disability. It's an important time for families to bond. And we know that, that organizations like Fourth Trimester and employers and other people in this ecosystem can play an important role in helping families transition back with greater flexibilities and schedules, to having spaces for nursing rooms, to have remote work options, and more. So in the time that I've worked for the governor, last year, I was really pleased to see her announce her paid family medical leave policy that she's put in place. And now that gives state employees up to 12 weeks of paid leave following the birth of their child or new placement of foster or adoptive child, which may be used in the 12 months following the birth or placement of that kiddo. And to date, we've had about 1,200 state employees who've taken advantage of that policy in about a year. So it's been, yes, so glad to have that in place at the state. And think of all the people around the state who get to benefit from that. The governor also increased earned sick leave hours for qualified family sick leave from 40 to 280 hours. So we're really trying to make the state a really great place to work for families. And I also wanted to flag that the governor is working to identify and remove barriers that women face in the workplace. About a month ago, the governor announced the creation of her Talent Ready AZ initiative, which includes the governor's workforce cabinet. It's really our attempt to align the workforce assets that exist within the state. And so the cabinet has a number of working groups, but one I wanted to make sure you knew about is one that's focused on women in the workforce. One thing that we kept hearing, and that you all know really well, is that women and moms face a number of barriers to enter or re-enter the workforce. So it's our hope with this group that we can gather experts together to look at the landscape, to identify strengths and gaps, share data, and create initiatives that would remove some of those barriers that women might face. So we're still in the early stages of this work, but we're really excited about it. We really believe it can hold some promise for Arizona women and those who would like to get back to work. So we know childcare is also a really important factor in families being able to return to work. And without reliable access to childcare, many families might miss work, they might skip opportunities for promotion, or decide not to advance their education. And many find themselves leaving the workplace altogether because of the cost or lack of availability of childcare. And many of you probably know, but if you didn't, that the cost of childcare for an infant is higher than going to ASU full-time. Did all of you have that on your radar? It's just stark when you kind of think about that. And can you imagine, if you have more than one child, the cost of childcare can really become out of reach. So I'm sure you're like me, and you have friends and neighbors and family members who, because of the cost of childcare, have left the workforce because the cost of childcare is just so high than take-home pay might be. So all of this being said, the governor has made childcare a priority in her work. And this year in the budget, she's able to secure $12 million for the first time in many, many years to support childcare in the state budget, which is a huge feat. We know it's not enough. We know that there's still a huge need, but still we want to honor this moment and that contribution as a big accomplishment in the work that we're able to do, knowing that there is more to come. We're also working with the Arizona Commerce Authority. We're in their building in their offices right now on childcare needs in the state. So the business community is really paying attention to this issue too, and we're glad to have them in partnership with us. So we've got a lot of really good work ahead of us to look at women in the workforce and childcare. And we'd love to continue to be in conversation with partners like you and to learn from you to ensure that we're on the right track in doing things that will most benefit moms, kids, and families the most. So with that, thank you. I'll close and just hope you have a wonderful summit today.
Erin, thank you so much for your time, for enlightening all of us on some of the policies that maybe some didn't know. We all know that big parts of change start at the top in order to maybe provide a model for other places. So we really appreciate learning about that. Of course, we certainly could not hold an event like this without the generous support of our sponsors. You do see all of their names up on the screen right now. And so we would like to take a few moments to recognize them. Our gold sponsor is Vitalist Health Foundation. Our silver sponsor, ASU Maternal and Child Health Translational Research Team. Good representation and fan club on that one. Bronze sponsors, Sage Biogen, Canyon Pediatrics, and First Things First. We do so appreciate their support. We're also fortunate enough to have some of their representatives with us who are going to say just a few words this morning from our gold, silver, and bronze sponsors. So first, we would like to bring up our gold sponsor representative from Vitalist.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity to briefly speak about Vitalist Health Foundation. We are honored to partner with the fourth trimester of Arizona to bring this very important summit so that we can all talk about maternal workforce and really about maternal health in Arizona. And while we're in this space, I think it's important to recognize that one, workforce is really critical, a critical issue for Arizona. I know for a fact I worked, actually, I'm passionate about workforce and access to care. That's been the two areas that I've focused on over the course of 20 years in public health, in my career in public health. And I know for a fact that our health professional shortage areas are not really improving before the pandemic and even further exacerbated after the pandemic. And so we know that we're just
We can't hear the presentation. You are muted.
All right, so just a little bit about Vitalist Health Foundation. We are a hospital conversion foundation. We are a public foundation that's been operating for 25 years as a public foundation, but we've been in this space for 30 years. Initially started as a private foundation from the sale of St. Luke's Hospital system back in 1996. You may know us previously with our former name, St. Luke's Health Initiatives, and now we're Vitalist Health Foundation. So for those of you who've been in the public health space, we have been in this space providing support to our communities for all kinds of initiatives and state health policies and even local policies. You know, for that many years. And so our mission is to connect, support, and inform efforts that improve health and wellness for the state of Arizona. I don't know if there is, I don't know why it's just moving the slides. Okay, sorry. So these are our three goal areas, and just the keywords that I can touch on is, you know, you may find this as kind of really aligned with the health equity framework in that we support coalitions and collaborative networks such as this one. We want to support our community partners who are leading the charge in advancing health equity in our state, and of course, data and research, which we know the reason why we're here is that we know our mortality rate is off the roof. And so we want to make sure that data and research is used to be able to inform decision makers in decisions in, you know, and policies in the state. Next slide, please. So just a little bit more about our priorities. We have 3 different priority areas in each of the different goals that I provided or mentioned. healthcare integration is something that I oversee at Vitalis Health Foundation, and that is supporting health systems that integrate physical, mental, and social determinants of health. It's so important that we think systems, and we want to make sure that we're really addressing the root causes of the problem. For housing, we're supporting statewide housing initiatives, and that is partnering with coalitions such as the Arizona Housing Coalition and cities and local towns to be able to create solutions for affordable housing. We know that we have an issue with workforce housing, and that's the reason why a lot of people choose to stay home, because if they have to go somewhere and there's no affordable housing, they just can't. And of course, we've heard about childcare too. And civic health. We want to support efforts that increase civic participation, that is voting. We all know that it's election year and it's important for us to vote and really engage in our democracy. Civic health is one of our priority areas. And then we know that we have a lot of areas in Arizona that are food insecure. We have a lot of kids, a lot of families that are struggling with food assistance and food insecurity. And we want to make sure that we are able to support and respond to those needs. And, part of what we do also at Vitalis is we provide funding for other capacity building grants and, supporting initiatives that really build capacity for all kinds of things to move the needle forward in advancing health equity. Next slide. So elements of a healthy community, we promote this heavily. This is something, our own version of the social determinants of health, and why we like this, because this is based on community input. These are the things, as you can see in this elements of a healthy community wheel, that the factors that are impacting health in our communities. And so when we start thinking about addressing root causes of the problem and all the social determinants of health that we see in our community, I think it's important to really understand what those systems or parts of the system that's not working, and to begin to address those parts that are causing the imbalance in the system and inequities, creating the disparities in healthcare. And finally, next slide, is just, again, understanding systems change. There is my colleague David Martinez later on will talk about systems change, and based on the FSG's water subsystems change. These are the 6 conditions that can help with really fully implementing systems change in different areas in your different spaces. And so it's a plug for my colleague, David Martinez. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And of course, you can understand, hearing the work that they're doing there at Vitalis, how it integrates with the ecosystem through 4th trimester. So we really appreciate your collaboration. We'd also like to hear from our silver sponsor, ASU Maternal and Child Health Translational Team. So if that representative could come up to the podium, and if you could give her a warm welcome this morning.
Hello there. Good morning, everyone. I'm so delighted to be here. I am Katie Burkle. I'm an associate professor at Arizona State University in the College of Health Solutions, and I co-lead the Maternal Child Health Translational Research Team. We are so delighted to be able to support this event because my dear friend, Jenny Beaver, has supported us, as a group, and also me individually so much over the years. She has the biggest heart and is so focused on filling up other people's hearts as well. So I'm just so happy to be able to be here and participate in this. Oh, now I'm going to cry. So the Maternal Child Health team at ASU, I just wanted to give you a little bit of information about it. We started out as this tiny little group. We had our first in-person meeting in February of 2020, and then quickly had to regroup. We are now more of an online community since then, but have grown to over 450 members, which is really amazing. And the purpose of our group is really to bring together like research practice partnerships so that we can like really learn the best way to serve moms and kids and families and get that out into the world and make a difference that way. So you know, we have monthly meetings where it's really a platform for, I think I only have 3 minutes, so I'm rushing. You know, sharing research, best practice, and community innovation. So we'd love to have you if you're interested in joining, just find me, I'm here all day. But I wanted to just give you a quick charge. So, you know, to make the, you know, best use of your time here today, I would love to see everyone continue to support Fourth Trimester and the other organizations that are here in the room, kind of charge a new path forward for moms and kids and families. I encourage you to make a new friend, and come up with your best idea for changing the world. And then finally, last but not least, you know, there's a really important opportunity for you all to use your voice and influence our leaders and our laws. So please, I would love to see everyone in the room stand up and be counted before the first Tuesday in November. So thank you very much.
That was some of the best homework I think I've heard. I like it. Yeah, right, it makes sense. And we are going to hear conversations about research within some of our talks as well today. We also have some of our bronze sponsors represented here as well. So first, I'm going to invite up our representative from Sage Biogen this morning to come say a few words about your connection to Fourth Trimester. Please welcome him to the podium.
Good morning. Thank you so much. My name is Stephen Schultz. I'm the Director of State Government Affairs for Sage Therapeutics. I'm joined by my colleague from Biogen, Shayna Erickson, in the back. Tremendously honored to be here today and join you all for this amazing conference. Our two companies, Sage and Biogen, have a commitment to maternal mental health and improving maternal mental health outcomes for moms and birthing individuals. Last year around this time, we really started our commercialization process for the first oral medication to treat postpartum depression that was approved by the FDA. And over the last year, we've seen so many moms, including in Arizona, that have been able to be treated and have a real option, a 14-day option to treat postpartum depression. And so we're super excited to be here today to really talk about improving policy in the state and really helping moms and birthing individuals in the state of Arizona. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephen. We appreciate that. Also, one of our bronze sponsors, First Things First, we have Representative. Good morning. Welcome her up.
Hi there, I am Beth Haas. I'm a community engagement coordinator for First Things First. Has anybody in this room heard of First Things First? Oh, yay. Okay, I'm gonna throw some brains at you. Who can tell? I'm not an early childhood educator. I've been in early childhood since I was in early childhood. So standing behind a podium is really hard for me. So, okay, I will. But can somebody tell me one thing about First Things First? Yes. Throughout Arizona. Okay, I'm gonna throw a brain, but they're soft, so. Okay, somebody tell me.
You offer childcare support.
We offer scholarships for childcare and then also programs for childcare centers. Yes. One more. Yes. Way in the back.
You fund family resource centers.
Yes, we do. I have more brains at the table out there if anybody wants a brain, a little stretch ball. So First Things First is Arizona's state agency for early childhood health and development. We were created by a voter initiative. We focus on preventative programming. We fund programs that provide services to families with children birth to 5. So we have 3 areas that we work under. One of them is preventative health, because when children are physically and emotionally healthy, they are more ready to learn. We focus on quality early learning, because when children are able to have access to affordable quality early childhood education, they are more prepared for school, and they turn into better students overall, right? And then we have strong families. So when we have successful students in school, we have support systems for families, we have stronger families, we build stronger communities overall. All of this is related to workforce issues, obviously, because if people I forget her name, from Erin, from the governor's office, if people cannot access affordable quality care, they can't work. So all of our industries are impacted. You heard that she's working with the Commerce Association. First Things First is as well. So we're all part of this collaborative effort. So anyway, we are honored to sponsor once again and partner with Jenny and Fourth Trimester. We value the work that you do and all of you, and any information you need, support, resources, come to the table. We can talk, answer questions, whatever it might be. All right, thank you.
And if anybody has a connection to the pitching staff at the Diamondbacks, she's your gal this morning. Our final sponsor representative that's joining us today is from Canyon Pediatrics, another one of our bronze sponsors. Canyon Pediatrics, come on up.
Usually I make my husband do this. He's in the back with our baby. My name's Ashley. Richard and I, we own Canyon Pediatrics. We've been there about 6 years. We're both social workers. I come from a background of home visitation. I also have my IBCLC, and I specialize in perinatal and infant toddler mental health. And one of the things we really enjoy or value at Canyon is community collaboration and being able to partner with different agencies, ongoing learning, all those fun things. I'm also the infant feeding village lead for Fourth Trimester Arizona, which is very close to my heart. And we hope you all have fun, and we're excited to be here. Thank you, Jenny.
Now, I would like to draw your attention to the screen as we do offer a big thank you to the incredible Fourth Trimester Board of Directors. If you would give them a round of applause. With each of them, their leadership has just been so instrumental in making today's event a success. We also want to offer a huge thank you to the Fourth Trimester Ecosystem Summit Advisory Board as well for your efforts in brainstorming, curating, developing this year's summit. We appreciate all the energy that you have put in as well. You see all the names up there. We also want to take a moment to acknowledge our amazing Fourth Trimester Village Leads. They work tirelessly to support mamas and families across Arizona. Your dedication is making a profound difference. Biggest thank you goes to Fourth Trimester's Administrative Program Coordinator, Camille Goulding back there. Marketing and Events Coordinator, Melissa Brown, producing this event. They're running tech and everything else. So we're so appreciative. And lastly, but certainly not least, a heartfelt thank you to all of the volunteers that are with us today. The backbone of this event certainly couldn't have been done without you. So now I am going to welcome back Dr. Jenny Beaver to the stage. She's going to share some background on the Maternal and Child Health Workforce and Policy Summit and how we can all work together as well. Come on.
Thank you so much. And thank you to all of you who put together this amazing summit today. I know we were clapping during Melissa, but she's also a huge piece of this. And yeah. And I want to give a huge round of applause to the Arizona Commerce Authority for this amazing space, right? so amazing, and they've been so generous with their time and expertise. I can't even believe that we get to be in this place. So I know I'm not the first, but I'm going to welcome you again to our first ever summit of its kind in Arizona, the Arizona Maternal and Child Health Workforce and Policy Summit. Next slide, please. I know there was a question in our conference app about how this summit came to be, so I want to share a little bit about that. In 2020, we were thrilled to receive seed funding from the Vitalist Health Foundation to grow our fourth trimester villages from 1 to 4 and to start the fourth trimester ecosystem initiative. The fourth trimester ecosystem started with lunchtime conversations during the COVID-19 pandemic, bringing together providers and lay supporters and parents to talk about how stay-at-home orders and isolation was impacting maternal and child health. We hosted our first fourth trimester ecosystem summit in 2021 to bring together everyone in Arizona who interacted with parents and children. Since then, we have hosted our fourth trimester ecosystem summit annually as a grassroots community-based network of maternal and child health advocates who are working together to improve the lives of families across Arizona. Those of you who are here today are part of this ecosystem that surrounds and supports new parents. You can see on our fourth trimester ecosystem graphic up here that has changed just a little bit every year. All those who interact with, support, and touch mothers and babies in the first 5 years of life. What we began to realize in the past few years as we've been working on this is that in addition to those of us who interact with parents and children every day, there was also a larger systems-based ecosystem that directly impacted parents and children, but that they likely rarely saw. Next slide, please. These are the organizations and individuals that create and execute policy, train the workforce, and set priorities for our state and our country. I've highlighted many of them in blue, as you can see. And we also realize that if we really want to make a lasting change to inequitable systems that negatively impact mothers, children, and families, we need to start talking to the people in this larger ecosystem and advocating to change the policies and systems that are holding families back. And as a result, and with the support of our Ecosystem Summit Advisory Board, we decided to host this year's first of its kind summit to focus on the systemic issues at the crux of the problem, issues that make it unsafe for mothers and children, that result in inequitable care, inequitable treatment, and that directly contribute to mothers and babies dying. So our goals for this important summit are to enhance communication across maternal and child health networks, celebrate model maternal and child health programs and policies, address barriers to equitable health, explore social determinants impacting maternal health, and to amplify voices from underserved communities. There's no way we could talk about all of this in one day. But today we're going to start on this journey together. And thank you all for being here to do that with me. So I know that we are running short on time. So Camille, if you want to go to our program slide, it's a little bit further in. So some of you know that our mission is to change the culture of parenting so no one has to do it alone. And that involves community. And our vision is that all families are embraced by their communities in their transition to parenthood. And I am so proud to say that we have embraced that and moved forward. And I've seen so much change just in the 7 years that we have been in existence. And we do this through our 4 major programs, our village gatherings, many of our village leads are here today, our conference that happens in the spring, our ecosystem, which today has built this maternal and child health workforce and policy summit, and our advocacy work. Next slide. We have 4 regional villages, next slide, and wonderful demographic space villages that are in collaboration with all these wonderful groups in the community. Next slide. And our infant feeding village, which you heard a little bit about. Next slide. We also have our big conference in the spring, and I'm shouting this one out. This is our conference for parents, and we're hosting it on February 21st next year. So make sure to put that on your calendar. And if you're interested in presenting at that conference, please let us know. We will send out a call for presentations in the next couple of weeks. Next slide, please. And our newest piece of advocacy, which is a collaboration with the Birth Workers of Color and the Arizona State University, is our Arizona Maternal Health Policy Coalition. And if you're not already a member of that, being here means you should totally scan this QR code and become a member. Because this is how we take action, is through this work. Next slide, please. All right. The last thing I want to say before we slide into a beautiful meditation with the wonderful Desiree Green is that you saw the wonderful picture of our board. We are looking to grow our board. So if there's any interest in that in any way, find me later or send me a message. And now, without ado, I will introduce Desiree Green.
Greetings, everyone. I'm so honored to be here. I see a lot of familiar faces, friends, and colleagues that I've worked with throughout the years. And I'm so grateful that we're all here together today. And so we're going to start with some mindfulness. We're going to take 3 deep breaths together, and we're going to do a little visualization work as we transition into this amazing summit. So with that, can I please have everyone come sit up nice and tall in your seat? Spine nice and straight as it feels comfortable. And if you would like, you can go ahead and uncross your legs and allow them to be planted on Mother Earth, beginning to feel nice and grounded. And when you are ready, if that feels comfortable, gently flicker your eyes closed. Taking a moment here just to be with yourself. I know that many of us have some traffic en route here, and let's just take a moment and be. In a moment, I'm going to invite us to begin our breath work where we will take a deep collective breath in through the nose, and then we will take a deep exhalation out of the mouth. Let's begin. Slow, mindful inhalation in through the nose, filling up your whole body with oxygen. Release. That was beautiful. Let's do that again, taking that collective breath in through the nose. Release. Feeling your shoulders melting further away from the ears. We're now going to take our 3rd and final cleansing breath together. But this time I'm going to invite you to allow your shoulders to drift up with your breath as you inhale, and allow your shoulders to drift further down and away from the ears as you exhale. Beginning to melt away tension and stress within the shoulders. Let's begin. Now come back to your natural breath here. Softly in through the nose and softly out the mouth. I'm now going to invite you to imagine the warm fall sun on your face, which is a symbol of life and growth. As we breathe in compassion for ourselves and for all of the moms and children, and as we exhale compassion and understanding. Picture the faces of the moms and the children who will benefit from our discussions, from our community, from all of the amazing work that we are going to do here today and beyond. Hold them in your heart. We are here today united by a common purpose. Let's open our hearts to one another and show wisdom and share knowledge on ways that we can continue to do better. And as you continue to hold those precious families in your view and in your hearts, we're going to actually work with an affirmation or an intention today. I'm going to invite you to repeat the following words to yourself silently, seeing if you can invite these words into your being and into all of the amazing work that you do. I actively work to create an inclusive healthcare environment where all moms and children are valued and respected. And so with that, may each of you always have peace internally and externally. And may we all enjoy this important summit together and take what we have learned today out into our communities. And may you all be well. You can softly open your eyes now back to the world around you, maybe feeling a little more grounded. And I do want to let you know that later today, at the end of the session, or at the end of the summit, I will be providing a body scan and sound bath. So if you would like to stay around for a little more Zen and mindfulness towards the end of today, I would love to have you. Be well.
Next slide, please. Thank you so much, Desiree, for that beautiful moment. And thank you for reminding me to give myself a hug. I certainly needed it. Some final thoughts before we start our summit today. There's a lot to hear. Some of it you may agree with, and it may agree with your experiences, and some of it may not. Please be open to all of it and approach this work with an open heart and mind. Listen more than you speak. Take breaks when you need them. Please use the restroom when you need to. Talk with others when you want and need to. Offer gratitude, empathy, compassion, forgiveness. Hold space for big emotions for yourself and others. And keep on making this state a better place for families. We are running over time on our opening ceremony, as Camille tells me always, that always happens. So instead of our 10-minute break, can we take a 5-minute break? And the restrooms are out there. So we'll be coming back at about 10:02. There's a little bit of coffee in the back, restrooms out there, and we'll see you back in 5 minutes.